Hey there, friends, it's time for another Props from the Past, and we're going way back. This isn't the first video I put on YouTube, but it's up there. It's one of the first ones I put a lot of effort into anyway. This one is called Cat Boss. It came out in May 27th actually of 2012, which is about a month after I quit my job at Microsoft. This video, you'll see the beginning sketch, if you haven't seen it already, is a recreation of me quitting my day job, which is pretty fun. Except my boss, as the name would suggest, is my cat. That's all I'm gonna give you. I'll let you see the beginning sketch because it's ridiculous, and then we'll talk about it. All right, let's dive straight into this. Music by Everett Gresham, by the way.
I quit. I don't have to listen to you anymore. I'm gonna be an artist. I'll run my own business. I'm gonna make props for a living.
That's it, and then it goes into the intro, crazy pants stuff. So a couple things. One, I called this Prop Culture, which is funny because Disney has a show by the same name coming out, I think next month. And I'm actually quite excited for it, hosted by Dan Lanigan. If you don't remember, among many other things that he is a collector who has the original Blade Runner gun. And Adam Savage got to go check it out a couple of years ago. Anyway, he's hosting Prop Culture on Disney+, and I'm excited for it. This was my version from 8 years ago. The sketch with the cat was fun. Brittany helped me, I seem to remember. And it took a while of him. We wanted to get the boss chair like rotating and have the cat there, like saying you're fired. And every time we rotated it, it was a mess. I think Willow, our other cat, was there for a while, just briefly, like as a blur. It was bananas, but it was also silly and fun. So right from the beginning, of course, we enjoy adding silly and fun stuff. All right, let's dive into more of this video, starting with the sweet intro that I made. Look at this. Pretty sure I spent way more time on that one shot on the intro than on the rest of this episode. I green screened it. I did all like Photoshop work for the ground. It's pretty cool.
Hello, and welcome to the very first episode of Prop Culture, your look into the world of replica prop and costume making.
Funny, that is also a green screen. I don't know why I thought I had to do a green screen, but I took a panoramic shot of my shop, which is really clean and doesn't have a lot of stuff in it. And then I put that as a green screen behind me. You can kind of tell because I am underexposed and the background is perfectly exposed. Well, perfectly. Anyway, I stopped doing it like this almost immediately because it was so much extra work.
I'm your host, Bill Duran, and I did just quit my job. I had a really nice job, working for a really big company, publishing video for a really popular video game console.
All true.
But I quit. And why did I do that? Because I am extremely passionate about prop and costume making, and I decided that I wanted that to be my career.
It is a little, two things. One, as I stroke my graying beard, look at that dapper young gentleman on screen. He weighs about 30 pounds less than I do. However, he's not very good on camera. Well, he's okay on camera. I've had a little bit of practice. Actually, I've had probably almost 1,000 videos worth of practice in between then and now. I'd like to think I got better. I still think this young chap's doing a great job, though.
So what will this video blog be about? Well, I'll tell you what it isn't going to be. It's not going to be me droning on and on, doing tutorials and step-by-step instructions on how to do specific things. YouTube is already
So isn't it a little ironic how I was like, hey, I'm not doing tutorials, boo-hoo. Then like 2 hours later, or years later, that's all I was doing. Although I am very interested to see what videos. Oh, by the way, that's what YouTube looked like 8 years ago. That's weird. Also, what do we have here? Smooth On. We have a couple of videos from Smooth On. We have one from Tap Plastics.
Someone with that sort of stuff.
Crafty Goat.
You can find it. What
no one
will
else I
I be
recognize.
doing? Well, the sort of things that you could look forward to in future episodes of Prop Culture include, but are not limited to, coverage of conventions.
Yeah.
Where there are costumes.
Which I did. I did a lot of like interview type stuff with friends at conventions, which was really fun.
News from whatever's going on in the costuming world all around the internet. Interview with other costumers and prop makers.
I did that too. Whenever I had a chance to travel, I would interview my friends. So whenever I went down to LA, I would just grab all my friends who made costumes and stuff and just put them on camera. Those videos are all still on the channel too. I remember interviewing Will Morgan and Kai Norman and Steve Winsett. I think all lived together in LA at one point, and I just shoved a camera in all their faces.
Really short how-tos on techniques and anything new that crops up in the world of making.
Quick to point out too that this was like before even anyone hobbyist level was thinking about 3D printing. So when I think like news, I think what I meant was like new tools and stuff, and 3D printing was probably just really becoming part of the lexicon at this point.
Shameless plugs for whatever it is I'm working on. Sometimes my cats will show up.
More often than not.
From you and your friends and your family and your concerned siblings. The trials and
in case you're curious, I did not write an outline or a script for this video.
Tribulations of running your own business.
That's actually something I have done tons of stuff on. If you go to punishprops.com and go to the video section, there's a whole part about business talk where I share stuff I've learned about running a business.
Fitness? I like fitness.
Not as much anymore, but I was into it back then.
Sometimes I'll talk about it. Discussions. I really want this to be a back and forth between me and you and whoever else wants to jump in and chat about the world of costuming and prop making. Whatever else is on my mind, this will be a forum for me to vomit my brain out and share it with the world.
I think the point to really take away from this, though, is that I didn't have much of a plan. I kind of had an idea and a direction, but that plan didn't coalesce for years, and that plan is still forming today.
I'd like to fire off the first episode by showing you guys what it is I've been working on in the last few weeks.
Let's see it.
Back in December, I made a replica of the N7 Eagle pistol from Mass Effect 3. Since then, I've made several more copies of it, and just recently I made 2 more. One of them is actually a wedding gift, which is kind of cool. Here are the 2 copies that I made last week.
Here we go.
Of the N7 Eagle pistol.
I still remember the name of the color of paint. The color paint, the default N7 Eagle color was, I believe it was Model Master's Jet Exhaust. It was a metallic, kind of brownish, greenish. I like that color a lot. That's why I remember.
I'm pretty stoked about how these turned out. I'm using a different base paint that I think pretty closely matches the default color of the gun in the game. This is a tester's paint called Jet Exhaust.
There you go. Ah.
I also took the...
I can remember more than just the blood code from Mortal Kombat, which is actually, if you remember, without looking it up, put it in the comments.
Kit that I made for the N7 Eagle pistol, and I modified the top part of it so that it could be changed into the M5 Phalanx heavy pistol, which is personally my favorite.
It is. I did that.
Here's the M5 that I just finished last week. Compared to the
So that
M7,
one I sold.
You can see that the bodies are mostly...
And then like a year ago, no, 2 years ago, I made one for myself. So 6 years. It only took 6 years to get one for myself.
The same, but this top part up here is a bit different. So I built a separate kit just for this top part. This is one of the first things I've painted white, and one thing I learned about painting something white is if you want it to look all dirty, like this one looks all dirty, awesome, because it's gonna get dirty. If you want it to look clean, then you have to be very careful with it, because everything sticks to white.
That's true. I learned the same thing when I did a pistol and shotgun from Team Fortress 2. There is very little you can do to hide your crimes on a very sort of plain-ish kind of cartoony paint job. You gotta be really careful.
A couple of weeks ago, I built the Carnifex.
Hey!
6 comics.
That's right. I had just finished it at that point.
This is the master of it. I don't have a finished copy of it right now. The one finished copy that I made was sent out. Actually, that one was also a wedding gift. So this is the master of the Carnifex. I made.
That's right. It was the summer of space guns as wedding gifts. Pretty fantastic. I cast so many of these phalanxes. For a while, it was the sort of my bread and butter kit that I had a bunch of different kits that I would sell, but this is the one I had for a long time. The mold that I have for this is like I might be able to get I still have it, but might be able to get one more kit out of it. But if I do, I'm keeping it.
Mold from this, and then pulled a plastic resin copy of it. That's about it.
That's it. What were you working on, Bill? Space guns. Yeah.
For the projects that I've been working on recently, going forward, I've got a few more things. I've got some daggers to paint, and I have some Mass Effect armor to make.
I do.
And
I made
a whole pile of other stuff that I'll dive into.
4 sets of Mass Effect
in the
armor that
coming
summer.
weeks on this show. If you have questions about prop making or costume building or anything that relates to that, please feel free to send them my way. I would love to use this video blog as a means for addressing and chatting back and forth with people. If you've got questions, send them to punishedprops@gmail.com.
Okay, so I would like to point out that when we made this video, our YouTube channel had well below 1,000 subscribers. So I was like, hey, send me an email. Now that we're at like 600,000, we don't do that anymore. So please don't send questions to that email address.
.com with prop culture somewhere in the subject line.
I bet I still have a filter on my Gmail to send prop culture emails to somewhere. I don't know. My Gmail is just layers of filters.
Speaking of punished props, if you go to punishedprops.com, you can see the rest of my work. And if you go to facebook.com/punishedprops, like my page there.
There we go.
You can follow me while you're pretending to work. If you're doing the Twitter thing, you can follow me.
Twitter, we got really laying out that
I'd like
awesome.
to make a special thanks to my friend Everett Gresham.
Oh,
he
yeah.
produced the music that you've heard in this whole.
So this is bananas, because it would be, I guess, 6 or 7 years later, but Everett worked for me.
Episode,
And we're still great
the
friends.
Intro music, the outro music that you'll hear, and everything that I've got going on in the background. If you like his music, and who wouldn't, head on over to his Twitter page @EDG3Music.
I don't think it's that
All
anymore.
one
I think
word.
he's changed it.
There'll be a thing right here. It'll say it. And that about wraps up the first episode. I know I didn't dive into a whole lot of content, but in the coming weeks I'll have lots more to serve you, especially if you send your questions my way.
Awesome.
If you like the video, hit like. If we want to see them,
I bet I have
whenever they
bloopers.
pop
I bet
up,
there's bloopers
hit
at the end.
subscribe button, wherever that is. And I'll see you all next time on Prop Culture.
Awesome. Oh, I gotta have credits at the end of your YouTube video. Here we go. Oh, this is gonna be fabulous. This cat was so not helpful. That's Willow. Yep. You just see just a little bit of a blurry tail on the way out. That's it, gang. That was a really fun look back into way into our past. Prop culture. Let me just quickly check the YouTube channel page here. I wonder how many of those I made. 1, 2, 3. Actually, there's one I did a year later about 3D printing props. Like I said before, I finally dove into it. Now, at the time, Brittany had 3D printed her Mass Effect helmet, or she had Shapeways 3D printed. So that's really the only experience we'd had with it, and that was a year after this video came out. Let's see. I got more prop culture type videos, but they did just kind of eventually turn into tutorials. Some of them have episode numbers. I think there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. 4 numbered episodes. But that's about the duration of prop culture on the old YouTube channel. Anyway, Disney's gonna do it even better, so I can't wait to see it. I hope you guys enjoyed this look into the past. Happy Friday. I hope you enjoy your weekend, and I especially hope that you guys staying safe, keeping your minds occupied, and being well to one another. We'll catch you all next week when my beard is even more gray. Later, gang.